Welcome to Tarot by Izzy. Thank you for joining me this afternoon in central Scotland. I really do appreciate when people stop by and spend their precious time, even viewing for a couple of minutes. I really do appreciate that, and I thank you for that if you've taken time to do that. Now, today's reading I'm going to do on something I've actually stumbled across, and this is in relation to the ongoing trial with Alex Murdaugh. Date of birth 17th of June 1958, and he's aged 64. And should I say straight ahead, this, although it's tragic circumstances this trial is being held, and my heart goes out to everyone involved, to please remember this is for entertainment purposes only. Anything that I do say is a matter of speculation and opinion. I'm only saying what I see on the cards. So from what I can gather is, and I'm just going to give these another card. This is my third, another queen. This is my third attempt. My phone went on the blink, and as people who do join me know, I am not very IT literate, I have to say, but I try my best. Maybe I need to go on one of those little training courses. So, from what I can gather, Alex is a Gemini, and they are usually skilled networkers. They like connecting with people, with resources and information. And his ruling planet is Mercury, the sign of the messenger, the communicator. And he was born under the new moon. So as you can see there, that is a new start that is coming up. My table is rather chatty, I have to say. It's just the new moon, that was what he was born under. And from what we can gather is there's a documentary on Netflix which I'll need to watch. The trial is being held at Collington County Courthouse in Walterboro, South Carolina, and the trial is for Alex Murdaugh allegedly deceasing his wife Maggie 52 and son Paul 22 at the family home on the 7th of June 2021. So that's what the sign he was born under, or under the moon, and his sun's sign is, as I say, a Gemini, and that's the sign of the great communicator, influencer, chatterboxes. I have to say, we're going to have a wee look at see what the moon is saying just now for Alex. As I say, these are all allegedly suppositions. I say what I see, and it is rather tragic. I think it's an insight into human nature and family networks, so it's going to be quite interesting. So this in relation to Alex, his late wife Maggie, and his son Paul. So can we just have a little card to give us some influences just now? And what we have is a fiery climax approaches. So this is a card that we're looking at just now. A fiery climax approaches. So we'll just consult the Moonology book just to get a I could say that we're going to have a fiery climax at the end of the trial, but let's see what Moonology tells us in relation to the full moon in Aries. And then what we're going to look at is a simple Celtic cross, and which I've adapted just to ask a couple of questions. So if you go to page 68, it's time to see if you've been a little too much me. There is a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants, but you'll have to wait a while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have done. If you know deep down that you've been a little rash or harsh, gone too fast, or overstepped mark, then accept on some level You've created this situation yourself, which means you can create the way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming and it could be fiery. So, the teaching is the full moon in Aries is a super fiery time when emotions can run very high. On the upside, there is excitement about what may lie ahead, but tempers are likely to flare with rash comments or decisions. No matter when you pull this card out, it signals that the situation has just or is about to come to a peak in a rather heated way. There could be a price to pay if you have been too competitive or too blunt. So we'll just pop those to the side just now. So he was born with under the new moon, and it was a new start coming, the creation of his birth. And it looks like that according to the fiery climax, the full moon in Aries, which is influence Alex just now, is there is a fiery climax coming in relation to decisions that have been made. So let's move on to the Light Seers Tarot. As I say, I've given these a good shuffle already because, as I've said, this has been my third attempt to try to do this because I couldn't get my phone to work. Or either the universe was saying, no, the first couple of readings I had done or did was not what the universe wanted us to know. So, as I say, we might pull an oracle card, or we might use the pendulum, but let's just wait and see. And I think the cards are now starting to say, we're ready to tell you a story. So it's slightly adapted from your normal Celtic cross, but you'll see that as I go through. So one more shuffle. So hopefully we're starting to jump now. Yep, we are. Okay, so just one more shuffle just to shuffle those in. And let's have a wee look. Alright, let's go. One. And hopefully you can see that. Okay, right. And underneath we have the Fool, which should be influencing the readings we have so far. So as I say, we've slightly adapted the Celtic cross. So what we're asking is, what is the current situation that Alex Murdaugh is in right now? What's his current situation? And we have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. So in the upright, very affluent, money and control, content. But this is losing control, losing money, maybe ill-gained money, under scrutiny. What else can we say? It's certainly not this happy, jovial person that he may have portrayed himself to be. That is in the reverse. Okay. So, what are the influences or obstacles crossing him just now? So, as I say, he's now, in the current situation, is the King of Pentacles in reverse. He's not the outgoing personality that we had. And we have the Eight of Cups. So there is a walking away from the situation here. Turning their back. How else would we say? Regretting choices. Feeling stuck in this current situation. And in fear, feeling stuck. Regretting choices that have been made. And it's blocking his momentum, so he can't walk away. He's stuck where he is just now, so he has to face what he's undergoing. So, what else was I going to ask? Because that's usually the basic. Um, what were the influences that brought Alex to the situation where he is? And it is a star in the reverse. Okay, that's a major arcana. So the star is in the ascendant. Um, it's been the centre of attention, it's been in tune. But what we have here, it is actually in the reverse. So this is the influences that brought Alex to the situation where he is. What brought him to being just now. Um, it was missed opportunities, a feeling of despair, a loss of faith, and hope. Lacking in hope, I would say. Which actually should have been this card I should have raised, was actually the third. I'll just turn them all here. Since I seem to be making a pig's ear. So, this is the third. So 1, 2, 3. This is the family card. What he hoped to portray was success, family, love, happiness, the couple, the children, everything's hunky-dory, and this was what he was portraying, this happy family to the wider world. This was the mindset. So that was what the influences that brought him to be there. And this was the previous event that brought him to where he is just now. So he has, to recap, the King of Pentacles is into the reverse. He's no longer in control. He wanted to walk away, but he's stuck in the situation. What he previously had was he looked to be this happy, successful, loving family, with all the love and the financial where to do and the cups. It's all there. And then what happened is something brought him to a halt. We have the Chariot in the reverse. It came to a screeching halt. He was no longer charging forth. Something put a spoke in his wheels that just said, halt. You're not moving anywhere further forward. And that could be in relation to the family life, the looking successful, looking prosperous, having everything. Something shone a light and it just came to a halt. This journey that he tried to portray that he was the successful individual. So if we go to card 5, and this is what he wanted. He wanted to look as if he was in the star. He wanted to look like he was the centre of attention. He was the successful one. He was on the ascendant. However, it became the reverse because of what has happened. What these influences are showing me is that he lost faith, diminished hope and disappointment. So hopefully we're getting clearer there, and I do apologise. So it's the third attempt. Something in the universe is influencing for some reason, or either that, it's just me. But we'll keep going. Right, so if we move on to card 6, what's the immediate influences that could impact on the future for Alex just now? Let's see, what's the immediate influences? And this is the Hermit. This is a looking in. He needs to look in, he needs to reflect, he needs to seek legal advice or any advice from wise ones and only learned people who actually know what they are talking about. This is the immediate influence which Alex has to consider, which will have a bearing on moving forward. And it is looking at, an inner reflection and meditation, and it is getting away from the chaos and seeking light from the dark. So let's move on to what's Maggie going to tell us. If we move on to card 7, what can Maggie tell us? What influences does she have here just now? And we'll have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Something to do with money. In the upright, it's a yes card, it's a growth card, it's a success card. Something happened financially. As I say, the Ace of Pentacles has went into the reverse in relation to Maggie. This was a big impact, and she needed, there was a risk of financial loss and missed opportunities. There was, needing to create a stronger foundation. No, I would say it's a risk of financial loss. That seems to be the most bearing thing that's pulling through just now. So let's see, what can Paul tell us? Can Paul tell us? Paul, his son. And here we have the 7 of Pentacles, and again that's in the reverse. Now in the upright, the 7 of Pentacles, you're nurturing. You planted your seed, you're watching it grow, you're nurturing, and waiting to harvest the fruits that you have nurtured. In the reverse, there's been a frustration that the Pentacles haven't grown. There's been impatience, there's been discussion, there's been something to do with money and not getting, so I'll put that round again, not getting what he expected. It became stunted, it wasn't growing. So what he had been told had been, the seeds that had been dropped, the pennies, the dollars, the pentacles, they stopped growing for some reason, and Maggie is saying the same. So what hopes and fears do we have for, or is Alex Murdaugh got? And here we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. And I would suggest in the upright, the Queen of Pentacles would have been Maggie. This is the self-fulfilled woman. She's comfortable. She's nothing to worry about. She's got material wealth. She had abundance. She had strength in the family and community. She was kind, nurturing, down to earth, generosity, and that has gone. This is flipped. For some reason, there's going to be a connection with the successful, well-respected Maggie that's going to hone in around finances. Whether she held the purse strings or not, or was expecting to hold purse strings, or whatever, but it's flipped into reverse. And obviously because she's no longer with us. And again, I'll repeat, my thoughts go out to her family, friends and acquaintances at this sad time, because this trial will be bringing it all back up. Now, what is the outcome for Alec? And we have the Knight of Swords in the upright. So this is the outcome at the present time, because circumstances can change, and this is hasty decisions being made. He's hoping that there's going to be a success, and he believes he's going to win because he is passionate, he's articulate. This is his opinion of himself. He believes he has the intelligence, and more or less because he's under the sign of Hermes and Mercury and Gemini, he thinks his silver tongue will help him in the situation which he is currently facing. So, my apologies for my little hiccup, but hopefully we've got there. As I say, what we did have is the King of Pentacles. Alex is now in the reverse. He's stuck in the situation because he's in the middle of a trial. Whatever he was driving, projects, plans, projects, they were stopped in its track. He portrayed this happy family. That's what he wanted the community to see. He was successful. He was loving. His star went into the reverse. And, you know, he was no longer seen as a shining light in the community. He currently is having to, and his present influence is to seek wisdom, internal wisdom. And that from his counsel as well, moving forward in the trial. What Maggie had happened was her Ace of Pentacles, her fortune has went into the reverse. She's no longer with us and no longer able to grow and display and share the pentacles that she had. Paul was extremely upset in relation to the pentacles he was promised. He said the seeds would be there, the seeds would be growing and developing, and he'd be able to cultivate them at some point. That was not the case, and Paul discovered that, according to this, he wasn't going to be able to reap what his father said he had sowed. And then what we had was the fears, the hopes and fears, and the fear is that they're going to concentrate, the court is going to concentrate on the wife Maggie, who was seen as a generous, kind, loving, independent woman who was in charge of her own pentacles, and that flipped for some reason. There was something to do with money in relation to this. It wasn't just a heat of the moment thing. This was planned. And what he hopes is that he'll be able to drive forward swiftly, and that the gift of the gab, he'll be able to jump on his motorcycle or motorbike and go. That his silver tongue will be able to help him get out of the situation where he is just now. So let me have a little look. Could we ask, I don't know if you can see that or not. Can we ask the pendulum? Can we ask the pendulum? Can we ask the pendulum? Will Alec Murdaugh win? Will he win? Will he be freed in the trial? Will he be freed in the trial? According to that, it's no. As I say, this is on today's reading. Will Alec Murdaugh be found guilty? Will Alec Murdaugh be found guilty at the trial? Will Alec Murdaugh be found guilty at the trial? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Was the motive to do with money? Was the motive behind the deceased Maggie and Paul to do with money, finances? It was to do with money, finances. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, folks, I hope, despite me mucking it up a wee bit there, that you've enjoyed your reading. And if you do enjoy it, like, subscribe and share. And I'm going to, in the future, have a look at using my dowsing rods. These are new gimmicks that I've got. I'm going to try these out. And I'm going to look at a wee bit more in relation to Maggie, Paul, and a few other unfortunate incidents surrounding Alex Murdaugh. So say this is for entertainment purposes only. It cannot be taken as fact. That is why we all have free will, and that is why there is a trial ongoing. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Okay, thank you for joining me today. Thank you. Bye.